Yes. Or maybe whatever idea you have about report making. What is the idea you have? What is a report? What is a training report?
Can I speak? Because
Yes,
I'll be
yes.
I'll be talking only on technical aspects, but
Uh-huh.
you will be concerned more about
Mm-hmm.
soft skills, no? So in my technical this thing reports I give is on two types. That is one is on the personal metrics that is concerned with soft skills, like what is a soft skill training I have given
Mm-hmm.
and how they have performed. See,
Mm-hmm.
for this performance, I give them a Google sheet, and in the Google sheet, anonymous reporting they will give. They will not give their mobile number or email ID and all. It will
Okay.
be anonymous, so that the report will be true. And
Great.
then on the then on the technical report, I give them the things like their performance, their ratings,
Mm-hmm.
how many calls they have taken, how many calls they have completed, like that. It
Mm-hmm.
all goes with technical thing.
Great.
So this I will have it before the training,
Mm-hmm.
but then afterwards I will visit to them and take their report and show them the improvement.
Great.
So,
Fantastic.
so for this training, the result of this training is before this training, this particular engineer was like this. Now
Mm-hmm.
after the training, his report is this. Now you
Fantastic.
yourself can see the result.
Great.
Showing that, so that will be a documented proof to them. So
Wonderful.
this I do it on a Google sheet. For
Right.
all this data, I make a Google sheet, collect that
Got
and
it.
give.
Got it. Fantastic. Thanks. Thanks, Jai Kumar. So
Yeah.
yes, guys, maybe you have read this one habit from the seven habits of highly effective people. They begin with end in mind, right? So even when you begin your training, you should always you need to have that end in mind. That this is the report I want to generate out of this training. Yeah. Uh, so yes, are you guys into that habit or that practice of making a report for your clients? Whether they ask or they do not ask, are you into that hygiene of making a report?
So, Elvis,
Huh?
I do not do reports, but I do give a recommendation mail.
Okay.
Only if it is a direct client. Otherwise, if there is through third party, they normally restrict you to
Mhm,
contact.
mhm.
If the client asks verbally, that time itself we've given. Otherwise, there is through the contract, there is no other recommendations. But
Okay.
regular client, which is a direct one, I prefer to give couple of recommendations, and then it's up to them.
Got it. Great. Anyone else, guys? I would like to know, what is the current state? Like, do you make reports? You do not make reports? What is your understanding of training report? Yes.
So, if I had to add, see,
Mhm.
currently we are not into competencies or incorporating competencies in the report making. Most of the events are around team building and team bonding. Okay.
Mhm.
So, as of now, the reports that are featured are essentially about really what happened out there and what is the few desired, not desired, few outcomes that had come up during the discussions,
Okay.
right? Just about that.
Great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful. Yes. Maybe one or two. Any one or two, a few more.
Yeah.
You may be wrong. Please do not, I would encourage you to be vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no
So,
right.
hi, Elvis.
Yes. Yes.
Hi,
Sure.
Elvis.
Uh-huh.
So, like during my reports, what I include in my reports first is to
Shweta, your
appreciate
voice
the
is not clear.
team
Your
who
voice.
had organized this session.
Your voice is breaking.
Is it audible now?
Now it's better.
Is that audible now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So during my, is that audible now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So during my report writing, what I include usually
Mm-hmm.
is first is to appreciate the team who had organized the session
Mm-hmm.
and the logistics parts also. Then second, I used to make a collage or the video related to the training program. So I used to attach that also.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, if I take any pre-test, pre and post-test, so I just attach the report of that pre-post test.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And the recommendation part also.
Great. Fantastic. We are going to cover all these. Yeah.
Yes.
Any last person, any one last person who would like to share? You can also share your doubts about report making.
I want to know how we make report for soft skills, like what change can we show them, and how can we really, what questions can we ask the people so that we can show the difference pre and post change.
Great.
That I want to know.
Yes, so great. Thank you everyone for all those who shared. As we are proceeding, before we proceed, just a few guidelines that I also mentioned on the post. We'll be limiting the interventions, whether it's a question, it's an answer, or adding to it. Yes, in interest of time. Secondly, if anyone is exceeding, yeah, we will come on a video and we'll just do this sign, a T sign. Yeah, that we are stretching our intervention too much. Yes, this is the T sign. Fine. Great. So yes, guys. So coming to report making, the process of report making begins with the TNA, understanding the training need and identifying the competencies that need to be worked upon in the training. So those will be the parameters on which my report will be based on. So I need to first identify the competencies as parameters on which on the basis of which I will be making my report. Yeah. So it all depends a lot on your client conversation, on what training needs do you identify. Yeah. So this is the first step. It's a preliminary preparation to prepare your report. Right. Now, the key message that I want to give you today is what you measure, it improves. What is measured can be managed. Right. And when you report things, when you record the things, right, when you're observing and recording, I'll repeat what I said, that report making does not begin only after training. Report making begins when you start training. It goes hand in hand, parallelly. As you're training, if it's a training journey, I don't suggest report making for a 1 or 2 day training. It's more for a training calendar, a training journey. Secondly, it also depends, it's a good hygiene, but it also depends on the budget. Because at times trainers may not prefer to go for a report and all, because maybe it's not a very high paying client. But I would suggest it's not only good for your client, it's also good for you. So what you measure, what it improves, is not just for the client, it's also for me. When I look back 1 year back or 6 months back, this is the training I had done. Okay, I have a good data with me. And when I give a second thought to it after some time, there are some new ideas that come. So this is the twofold benefit of report making, not just for the client, but also for me as a trainer. I have a record of the trainings that I have done for the client. I have all the details. We will be going into each header of what will go into the report, like what we discussed for the proposal, the 8 steps. We are going to see the 11 steps for report making. Yes. Any doubts, anything not clear, anything you want to ask before we proceed?
I have a query.
Yes.
Okay, so for even TNA, a lot of time, if there are multiple trainings also with similar firm, so HR do not give a permission to do, proper TNA.
Got it.
Okay, and sometimes there, I mean, other day also when I was with another sessions, having this discussion. I mean, trainer was continuously focusing on doing the TNA, but you are getting a point of view of one or two people who's not even decision makers a lot of time.
Right.
And they have no idea. Just ऊपर से बताया गया training करनी है तो करनी है. They have no idea what they are doing. It becomes very
Right.
difficult.
Yeah, see, sometimes even the HR does not know the top view. They are just maybe, trying to fill the calendar, the training calendar. They do not understand what is actual business need. Therefore, like we have discussed in the previous sessions also, it's always a good approach, to try to get access to the business owner. Because the HR may just try to tick mark the calendar. Okay, do this 2 trainings. And for 2 trainings, no one is going to tell you their details. 2 दिन के मेहमान हो आपको, why to tell you the entire story of the family?
Okay.
आप 2 दिन के मेहमान हो सिर्फ. हाँ, अगर आप 6 महीने 1 साल के लिए काम करने वाले हो हमारे साथ, you've gone there as a training partner, you're gone there as an expert, okay, you have gone there as a doctor, the patient has to share everything.
True.
Because you say that you are an expert. I'm a doctor. If you don't tell me, you don't disclose, you don't be vulnerable, sorry, I cannot heal you. So the client who's really serious, who has a pressing pain, will not, pull back from sharing the details, sharing the KPIs of the trainees, because he wants to see change. So he will definitely share.
Got it.
Therefore, I would not blame, the client. I would say we need to somewhere change in our approach. The second benefit, guys, of making a report, we'll first discuss what are the benefits. Yes, Hemant, you want to share something?
I've just got one question.
Mm-hmm.
How will I make a report when I'm taking in a college? I've got 5 topics to be taken. And they've said you got to evaluate them for 50 marks. Each of the students for 50 marks. So how can I make a report in such a case?
Hemant, you can park your question for right now. Okay, once the session is over, I guess you'll get the clarity. Yeah, towards the conclusion of the session. Yes? Great. So yes, guys, report making will also increase a lot of transparency and trust. The 2 T's, transparency and trust. It's like a father who gives a child some money. He says, go, use this. But a child comes and gives all the account. See, this, 10 rupees I used here, 20 rupees was used there, and the rest 70 rupees were used here out of the 100. So now the father has a lot of trust on the child. He will again the next time, he will not hesitate to give more 100 rupees or more 200 rupees the next time. Right? For a trainer, this is the relationship that works with a client. When you jot down things and post trainings, you tell the client, whoever is a stakeholder, see, this is the things I have done. Okay, this is what work I have done. This is the picture. This is the map. Right? The trust increases, the transparency increases, and this becomes like a, business generation magnet for you. Your report becomes a business generation magnet. You will be a preferred training partner for the next assignment. Because now you're showing accountability as a trainer. We train for accountability, right? But this is an accountability for me as a trainer.
So, Elvis, I have a question. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Only to understand for how much report we require for TNA, so that we can able to understand the problems.
I'm not able to get you very clearly.
Okay, is I audible to you properly?
Yeah, but it's like kind of echoing. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you for how many months report we need to take for making a good report?
How many months?
Yeah. So if
I
client
guess
is giving a training, he wanted to do one training. So for training, we should find out should understand the problem. For understanding a problem, how many months report require?
I couldn't quite connect with your question. See, it's basically you go, you
Okay.
meet the client, okay? You give the proposal, you understand the needs, you start training. First you understand, you have a conversation, client conversation, you do a TNA, you decide a parameter. Step one, client conversation. Step two, you do a training need analysis in the conversation itself. Step three, you boil down to some parameters. That these are the parameters on which I'm going to train. My training is going to move the needle on these parameters. Step one, step two, step three. Is it clear?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. For example, if I got an assignment with I did the first bank, and they said that their their people is unable to sell their credit cards. So their last 2 months credit card selling score is very low. So based on that, do you think we should do a training?
Yeah, you'll have to go and meet those who are selling credit cards. Go and meet them. What are the challenges are they facing? Right. So that is a conversation that you're going to have with your target audience, with your trainees. Yes, if they are not able to sell that target number of credit cards, they are not able to meet that sales target. Yes, you'll have to go and meet them. Go and meet them on the ground floor. It's not only about meeting the stakeholders, it is also about meeting the trainees who are going to sit in your classroom because they are on the front line. So there you will get a real data. Sometimes people sitting on the top also do not know what are the ground level challenges. Yes. So that is a training need analysis you do after your while having a conversation with them, and then you sit down with a cool mind. Okay, you reflect back on the conversations that you had with them, and then you boil down to some parameters. Whatever parameters you decide, 3 parameters, 7 parameters, depending on where is their pain. So parameters are going to be related and connected to the pains that they have and the pleasure they want to go to. So the 3 P's. The parameter is in between, okay? You first understand their pain, you decide the parameter, and then now you want to take them to a pleasure point. So say for example, they are very poor at objection handling. Okay, in this example, they are very poor in objection handling. So what could be one of the parameter? It could be product knowledge. Maybe they are not having very good product knowledge. Whenever the customer asks them a query, they are clueless. They are like clean bold. So now you ask them some questions about the product and you mark them on a scale of 1 to 10. You maybe design a test, you score them, and then you mark them that this is where they are, 5 out of 10. Then you do a training for them on the product, on the service. And now your maybe target is to take them 8 out of 10. You again do a test, you again give a questionnaire, okay, and then you score them. Does this example make it clear?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just give you one example. Maybe objection handling is poor. This is the parameter. Okay. Another parameter could be communication skills. It could be listening skills. They're not listening. They're not understanding what the client is saying. Okay. The client is asking A, they are giving B. Are you getting it?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Prajakta, you had a question?
Yes, thank you, Elvis. Elvis, I am a little confused right now. So, recently I had mentioned that, it was my first client visit and I had gone for the TNA there.
Mhm.
And that's when, the client asked me, most of the time the issue he faces is that once the training is done,
Mhm.
once the attendees are out of the training room, the effectiveness is not there, or so he was asking me, how do you track that, whether you can have follow up, or what is that, that you can do. So I am a little confused whether report making is also a part of, tracking on a regular basis, whether the training that we delivered was effective or
Just
what.
park it for now.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover some things in that this may get cleared. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So guys, understanding from a metaphor, your report is like a compass. Like you are a ship and you're in the sea with a compass. Okay. This compass shows you, like, where are you heading to, and it will help you to head to the right destination. That is what your report is, because your report has to speak about two things: what has been covered, what also needs to be covered. What has been covered, what needs to be covered. Someone mentioned, right, about recommendations. So in your recommendations, you can suggest, you can advise as a consultant, as an expert, that these things have been covered in the training, but hey, I noticed a few things in the training that your trainees lack. And they also need to be groomed and trained on A, B, and C topic. So your recommendations are going to be about two things: what has been covered, what needs to be covered. Any doubts on this? Anything that is not clear? It's like a compass. A compass shows you direction. Okay, now we are here. Okay, this is the direction we have to go. So this is the compass. Your report is a compass that is going to help you take your client to meet their organizational goals. Their destination is to meet the organizational goals. The organizational goals can be anything. It may be to reach a certain profitability level, or it may be to scale. It may be to inculcate leadership qualities in their middle level managers so that they can promote them to top management level. Organization goal can be anything. The destination can be anything. Your report has to be that compass. Yes. Any doubts, guys? Anything you would like to ask, you would like to share? So the hook today, guys, the hook of the entire discussion, coming to the main part of today's session, is going to be Kirkpatrick's model, Kirkpatrick's evaluation model. It speaks about four things. First is reaction. Second is learning. The third is behavior. And the fourth is results. Reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Now, what is reaction? Reaction is the immediate response of your trainees. Your training is over. What is the immediate response? That is reaction. Most of the time, trainees feel that, reaction is result. Reaction is not result. As soon as the training is over, everyone is going to praise you. People will come and take a selfie with you. They'll say, "Kya badhiya sikhaya, sir. Wow." And then you go and tell your other friends, "Oh, my training was a super hit today. Great." But that is only a reaction, guys. It's only a reaction. It's a temporary reaction. Immediately after the training. The second is learning. What knowledge have your trainees gained on the topic? What knowledge have your trainees gained on the topic? Now, how will you measure this? Through tests, through Google Forms. You can design a test, conduct this test in the session. Yeah, what I do basically is, like, say for example, recently I did a 10 session batch. Okay, and I would do that test, the same test before the training, in the middle after 5 sessions, and after 10 sessions. So that is the structure design I had thought of, the format. Okay, so as I said, the report generation begins even while you're training. Post training, I need to have in mind that this is the report I want to give the client when it comes to knowledge. So sometimes what happens, we start training and then we feel, oh yaar, ye to kiya hi nahi, ye karna tha, pehle hi karna tha, reh gaya. So that is why begin with the end in mind. What report do you want to give to your client after the training? After your calendar is over, after your training journey is over. And I will be sharing you with your template. Okay, I will also share the PPT with you. You need not write, I will share the PPT with you. Okay, these are the 11 steps that you need to follow. Next time you want to generate a report, sit with these 11 headers of report making and just fill up those things. That's it. It's like a template. Yeah. The third thing is behavior. The third element in the Kirkpatrick's evaluation model that will help in your report generation is behavior. Now, how will you come to know about the behavior? Anyone would like to suggest how will you come to know about your trainee's behavior? Is there a change in the behavior?
Yeah, it's based on the training we have provided. We can see heavy on the productivity. Depends upon the improvement. If he's doing a good improvement, that means he is a positive behavior and good for the company.
Okay.
It may be the 360-degree evaluation or the 360-degree surveys after the training.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yes. So both of you are right.
Yeah.
First thing.
I just wanted to add one thing.
Yes, Andrew.
Yeah. So this is a recent example which I did it. So as you said, the Kirkpatrick's model behavior level 3. Okay, so what I have done is that post training, I have given some 22 days. Okay, and after that, we asked the participant to come for a success stories. Right. So whatever the learnings they have made, like maybe the communication skills. Okay, so how they have improvised their communication skill in terms of their business. Right. So those success stories has been presented. Okay, and during that conversation, during that presentation, their LOF, that is leader of the function, and their L1 managers were there. Okay. And they have presented it. And based on their presentation, the trainer who was there during those session, okay, they have marked as what are the things they have improvised. Based on that, he has given some ratings. So the pre-training and the post-training. Great. And the feedback has been given. So that's how I did it in my last training intervention.
Okay, great, fantastic, wonderful. So guys, behavior would be no, intangible. You will not be able to very specifically say that no, now the behavior was 3, now it's become 6. The last is results. Results need to be tangible. Results need to be tangible. Yeah. They need to be very specific. If it was a sales training, okay, so before the training, this was the sale, and after the training, post 1 month or post 45 days or post 2 months or 3 months, okay, the sales has now increased. So what I suggest is you can have a preliminary report. You can also have a report much after your training, after going and getting a follow-up, meeting your trainees. So yes, so what the previous interventions you spoke about was about behavior. First is observation, your own observation as a trainer, and second, the observation of the stakeholders. Okay, it could be the plant head, it could be the department head, it could be the HR, it could be the team lead. Okay, their observations. So this you would need to do during your training. During your training, in a sense, in your training calendar, say you have a 7 sessions calendar, you would need to go and meet the stakeholders. You would also need to meet the trainees in person, post session. Just speak to them. All these are going to give you data points for your report. Any doubts? Anything you'd like to ask here? So these are the 4 elements in the Kirkpatrick's evaluation model. Any doubts you have, you'd like to ask, you'd like to add something? This is going to
Yes.
yes.
So if you're talking about the result,
Mm-hmm.
so how many days we have to like we have to find out the result after a month, after a week, after a quarter?
Yes, so it depends. It depends. You will have to take a follow-up, maybe 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. It depends on the competency. Yeah, and the target that you are looking at. This was a parameter at 3 and now you're looking to it to be at 8. Okay, so it also depends on that gap. More the gap, longer the period for your observations for the result. Yes. And if you can show this to your client in your report.
Please give me an example. It would be good to understand about the result, because in the Kirkpatrick model, everything is understandable. But if we are not giving a good result to the client, they will not call it.
Right.
For example, if I'm going to take a training into the bank and my participant is the credit card seller. So if that need a result, so like every month they rate, every month they have to give an incentive. So if we can measure something on a monthly basis, I'm asking you, so we should measure on a monthly basis or quarterly basis?
Depends.
Elvis, can I?
Yes, yes.
So I would like to respond to Sandeep as well as for the benefit of other participants. When, as a facilitator or a trainer, you train a set of trainees, this is so wonderful that, you know, the first reaction is so enthusiastic. Fine. The learning also, they will be able to capture and say, these are things we have learned. I want to share with you, I used to train people on 7 steps of selling. The 7 steps of selling, the first step is a greeting. And the second step is a store check. There are 7 steps. I don't want to, for want of time, I'm not going to all 7 steps. I tell you only 2 steps, greeting and store check. Out of 25 participants, how many participants now are better in greeting the retailer? So far, they've been greeting the retailer like Danda Kaisa. Now, when you ask this question, Danda Kaisa is a negative question. Danda Banda. There's a response. The retailer, no retailer in my 35 years of history or my experience have said, boss, Danda is very good. Nobody has accepted so far. So that's a negative question. Your first ball, clean ball. So then I give positive way of greeting. Oh, आपका दुकान बहुत अच्छा है, painting बहुत अच्छा है. चलो अंदर जाके मैं stock check करूंगा. So he go inside and check. So if the 25 people are doing these 7 steps, and that behavior is supposed to be one of the best positive behavior happen after training, hats off Karthik. So this is what the company tells. Company also tells me that Karthik, you are not responsible for results. You are responsible only for behavior. Because achievement of target is a function of various aspects like marketing, advertising, competition, pricing, schemes, etc. So we will not hold you responsible. I just want to share to Sandeep also. No company, no mature company will ask a trainer, you are responsible for the results. But there are some companies who say, we want you to also be a business consultant for us other than a trainer. Then I will say, every month I have to come for the review meeting. And 6 months down the line, I'll be showing the improvement results, for which I'll be charging a incentive on that. So just want to share with
it. Fantastic. Yeah. So it all depends, guys, on what competencies have you identified. Okay. And what shift do you want to make in that parameter? Where are they and where do you want to take? That will define, how often would you have to take the follow-up? Yes. Because the last element of Kirkpatrick's model, that is result, would take time. It would happen gradually. That also would require follow-ups, going and meeting the trainees, because it's like an electromagnetic wave that comes from the mobile tower. The signals become weak after a particular distance, and it needs amplifiers. It needs signal amplifiers. So here, as a trainer, the signal amplifier is a follow-up, going and meeting them. You decide whether it should be 15 days, 1 month. It all depends on your conversation and the parameters that you have set to achieve. Yeah. And coming to what Karthik was sharing, yes, no client would expect a trainer to bring that shift in the business needle, but they would expect it from an expert. And I would encourage not to go as a trainer. If you go as a trainer, you would be paid less. You would be just invited as an entertainer. But if you go as an expert, you will need to understand the business. So more than, I would say, preparing for your training, okay, more than preparing and sitting and making your PPTs, making your modules, I would say put in 80% efforts into understanding the business, 20% into module making. This approach, this will be accessible, you will be permitted for this if you go as an expert. If you give that promise that okay, this is what I have understood from the TNA, that you are here, but I will give you a treatment which will take you from X to X plus 2. But for this, I would need to work with you for a particular amount of time, say 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And post 1 year, you will see these results. This is also an approach that will help you earn more. You need not go on hunting for clients. You just need 10 good clients and you're done. Who give you a training calendar, who actually you give a training calendar to them. Yes, Alra.
So just to add here, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised because clients sometimes do ask. They'll give you a 1-day training program and they'll say, how will you show a return on investment?
Correct.
Okay. So I think so at that point of time, the trainer also needs to understand that first, every training program, you cannot generate ROI. And even if they want an ROI, see, many of the HR people or L&D people sometimes just go by what's trending. So they'll use terminology like, okay, what's the ROI on this? You tell me, if you can give me this input, I will be able to give you output. If you give me a 1-day program and tell me do only this and then say give me ROI, it's not always possible.
Not possible.
That is something that as trainers also we need to identify before we get into any meeting, whether it's possible to generate an ROI within the desired expectations of the client.
Great. So in my case, I have a very clear, candid conversation with my client. Okay. I say that you have this pain and you tell me in 1 day you want me to, like no doctor will give you a 1 tablet and say you take this tablet and the next hour you will be all right. Even a doctor will give you a prescription of a dose of 3 days, a minimum 3 days. If you don't go from pain to pleasure, from pain to relief of pain, you will again go to the doctor. There will be a follow-up checkup. Okay, doctor will again see your condition. Again, he will give a treatment, a dose of more 3 days, till you go from that pain to pleasure. I think that is the approach we need to follow as trainers. An expert approach. But expert approach is going to be a lot of work for us. We'll have to understand the business. Where is the problem? Where is the pain? What actual treatment do I need to give? Sometimes the stakeholders will only tell you the symptoms, and we immediately design a training for that, and then there are no results because we only treated the symptom. We did not go to the root cause. Yes. So yes, guys, coming to a few statistics I would like to share. If you still are not convinced that why should I make a report, Association of Talent Development has come up with the statistics after doing a survey that your clients feel that there is 40% higher ROI on their investment if you give them a report, which means that there are higher chances that you will be called again for the next assignment. Yeah, this is not my report, this is not my finding, it is a finding of Association for Talent Development. And as Edwards Deming says, yeah, we trust in God, but the clients will only trust on data. In God we trust without any data, but your client will trust you only if you give them data. You are not a God to your client. You'll have to show him what work did you do tangibly. And therefore, I say play your report on numbers. Play your report on numbers. Numbers is something that attracts the attention immediately. Yes. Any questions, guys, so far, whatever we have discussed?
How do we put soft skills?
Yes, Akila?
How do we put soft skills in numbers, Elvis? Like, how do we show them in numbers?
No, soft skill is such a big umbrella term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you how soft skill. You'll have to go speak, as I said. Step 1, speak to the client. Step 2, understand what does the training need. Step 3, define the parameters.
Okay.
And then your report is going to revolve around those parameters, along with the Kirkpatrick's model: reaction, learning, behavior, result. So what Elroy was just now saying is more of ROE, result, return on expectation. Yeah, result is more about ROI, result on investment. ROE is very abstract, not tangible. ROI is specific and it is tangible. Yes. So coming to, I will share my screen now. So these are the headers you need to make sure are there in your report. Yes, whenever you are making your report for your next client, I will just share my screen. I will also share this PPT with you, presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so the very first header, okay, will be your title page. And the 4 sub-points under it would be training program, title, whatever is the title of your training program, your trainer name, your name, the date when you're going to conduct the training, you conducted the training, and then your client's name. Fine. The next is an executive summary. The second header is an executive summary. So the brief overview of the entire training program. Okay, just a top view that this was a program and so all these sessions have been conducted. Just a skeleton.
Elvis, could you just go back the first previous slide?
Okay,
just to take notice.
Yeah, I'll be sharing this PPT with you right away in this chat box. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Second is an executive summary. So the brief overview of the entire training program, just a bird's eye view, that in 1 or 2 lines. Yeah, not a description. The second in this, the second sub point is including the key objectives and outcomes. Yeah, not all the key objectives, just the major key objectives and outcomes. The third is training objectives in specific. List the specific goals of the training. What were the goals? What was your target? What did you aimed at? What was the output that you thought of? That post training, this is the output that my client will get. Okay. So example is improving communication skills, enhancing teamwork, whatever. The fourth is training content. What all topics did you cover in the training? Say it was a 10-session training plan, training journey, training calendar. So these were the topics. Session 1 topic, session 2 topic, session 3 topic. Yes. The fifth is, so basically guys, training report is like showcasing. It's a showcase. You're showcasing your efforts. What all did you do? Okay. Now the next is participant information. Give information of the participants. Okay, these were the number of participants. This was the age group. This were the departments they came from. That's just a demographic of your training audience, your training trainees. The next is training delivery. How did you conduct those trainings? Did you use role plays? Did you conduct any tests? Did you do some surveys? Did you use any techniques for grouping? Did you use any grouping techniques? Did you use any summarizing techniques? Yeah, so you're showcasing your work. This will increase trust, transparency, As I said, it's a hygiene. Hygiene is something, if when you do, it's not so appreciated, but if you do not do, it will cause some it will cause some trouble. It will cause some trouble in a sense. I may not be the choice for the next training if another trainer does this. So many trainers, from what I know, do not generate a report because it's work. But it's easy. You just have a template, edit the things for your specific client and give it to them. Yes. The next is participant reaction. So now we are coming to the Kirkpatrick's model. The next 4 headers in the report are going to be the 4 elements that we discussed about the Kirkpatrick's model. The first is reaction. Now this you can get it from designing a Google form, a Google feedback form. As Hemant was sharing, right? That he designs a form where he does not capture the name. He does not capture their email IDs. So it's a very transparent, authentic report. So through such Google Forms, you can get the reaction of the people. It can also be based on your observation. But Google Forms makes it more authentic. I, as a trainer, can speak anything, but a Google form will not speak lies because this is the response that is collected from the trainees. Yes. The second element that we discussed in the Kirkpatrick's model is the learning objective, the learning outcomes. Okay, just let me shift this. Yeah, the learning outcomes. So here you can give a summary of the assessment results. So this was a test that you conducted to check their knowledge. Okay. So I do not use the word, test. Do not use that word test because these are adult learners. At times it's subconsciously very offensive that I'm going to test. So we call it a learning check. You can call it a learning check. Yes. You can have a surprise test. You can have a surprise learning check. And here you can only give them the demographics that this was a test conducted after post 5 sessions. And say out of 40, 30 of them scored above 75. And the result of this above 75 on this test before the training could begin was just 50 of them. So there is a shift when it comes to knowledge of the participants. Yes. The last one. Okay, why is this not moving? Yeah. So the second last is behavioral. Yes, as we discussed, it is going to be based on your observation. Yeah, what are the 7 observations that you had about the participants? Yes. The last one is result. Yes, so this maybe you will not be able to give it immediately, but here you can mention that you would like to do these follow-up checks. You would like to come and meet the trainees. You would like to come and meet the stakeholders so that you can fill this header and deliver it maybe 2 months or 3 months later. Because results will not be immediately seen post training. It's not that you have a magical stick. You just keep it on the trainees and there is boom, the organization goals have been met. It's not going to happen that way. Yeah. This will also help you build that relationship with your stakeholders, with your client. They will see you as an expert who wants to get results, who's not just an entertainer, but he's an expert. Coming to the conclusion of the concluding part of a report is recommendations. What do you recommend? There were 2 things, right? What we saw under recommendations. Can anyone tell me what were those? Let's have a learning check. 2 things that need to come under recommendations.
What we covered and what we are going to look forward to.
Look forward to. Now, are you getting, guys, from the business point of view? You are recommending them further trainings. These are also the needs of your trainees. So see, business is all about approach. If you go with this approach to your client, yeah, your client is not from the training industry. You are from the training industry, right? If I just go to meet my client and he gives me a one-day training and I'm so happy and the story is over there. But when I generate a report, my report becomes a business generating magnet. So whether your client asks you for a report or does not ask you for a report, you create a report. Yes. So these were the 11 steps that you need to cover in your report. You can add more. Yeah, you can also add action plans. That these are the action plans the group has decided as a group. Maybe if you're doing it for a particular department, if it's a homogeneous group, you can ask each participant to have their own IDPs, individual development plan. Yeah, and you can just give a summary of it. So your stakeholders also become co-trainers, because in your absence, they are going to make sure that the IDP, the action plan decided by each participant, is being followed or not being followed. You can also have accountability partners in your training room. Set accountability partners. Go after 15 days, 1 month, and meet these accountability partners to ask what is the progress in their partner. Any doubts, guys, in this? Any doubts? We just saw a template to create your training report. Yes, Shweta.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. So I just want to check this result or outcome part. Can we sometimes we have to go outstation also for the training purpose, right? So can we dedicate this work to the HR of that specific organization also?
No, I didn't get your question quite clear.
About the result part, that is the fourth part of that model.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to focus on the result part also.
Right. Yeah,
right.
But
so
you are responsible for the results as an expert. They can
yes,
just maybe cooperate with you. Yeah, but you'll have to go and meet with them. Yes, work as a team with them.
Okay. So like in that case, we can go for some virtual program
Yes,
also.
you can go for a virtual online session, meet them on, if distance is a constraint. Yes, John.
Yeah.
I conducted one training for a voluntary for an institution, and it was a voluntary and a one-day program, few hours.
Okay.
So what I did is last I left with an action plan with two questions. Like one was a short and long-term goal, saying after 15 days what you will be doing, and 3 months what you will be doing, and that made a big impact with the stakeholder who was sitting there. Later on, I got a report that saying that yes, this action plan made us think tank, because it's not that just gaining knowledge and left over. That's all. Thank you.
Great. So guys, yeah, training report makes a very big difference. Yeah, there are some testimonials of Deloitte. They did a leadership training for their middle management, and post training they saw that 45% of the trainees who were in the room were eligible to take up greater responsibilities. They were able to to promote them. 45% of those trainees got promoted. Same with Google, same with IBM. They track their training effectiveness, which helps them to get the results. Yeah. At the same time, I have an example of Windows Vista. Do you remember, guys, operating system Windows Vista? It was some years back, maybe 7-8 years back, I guess.
Failure.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Windows Vista was a failure.
Yeah, it was a failure. The reason was Microsoft trained their customer care people. They trained them on objection handling of users who were using Windows Vista, but they did not track the effectiveness of that training. And as a result, the product suffered. The product failed. This is the effectiveness. This is the power of tracking. What you measure can be managed. What you measure can be improved. But if I do not measure, if I do not record, and this, guys, I would like to give you a larger picture, a big picture. Do not only look this as from a very small angle of as a trainer for your client. This needs to become a part of my lifestyle. I track my own performance. I keep a track. What do I do on daily basis? I do a review after a fortnight or after a month and on a daily basis. How did I spend my day? So what I'm encouraging is, let's not only do it for your profession, also do it for your personal life. Tracking, recording, reporting. And when you do this for your client, you will be a very highly successful trainer. Any questions, guys? Any questions? The same also happened. What happened with Windows Vista also happened with United Airlines. They did a training for their staff, and they were not able to, give a customer experience, a wow customer experience, because their training was not being tracked. The company was not tracking the effectiveness of the training, not generating, not recording, not reporting. And even United Airlines suffered. Anything you would like to share, guys? Anything from your experience related to this?
I had a question regarding yesterday's session, Elvis, that template what you had mentioned, right, for proposal making. Has it been shared or it is yet to be shared?
No. I'll have to make it.
Okay,
get the time to.
Because this template is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure. I will share that too. Anything else, guys? Anything you would like to ask from whatever, any doubts that are in your mind? It's not clear.
So Elvis, Prajakta here. I think the question you had asked me to park in the beginning.
Yes,
I think,
please come.
What I think this entire thing answered most of it, because that's exactly what my client was asking me, and I couldn't, understand what he was looking for, what kind of a solution I was supposed to offer. But I think there's a lot of clarity in my mind as to what they were saying, and now I'll pitch to them, what in terms of, what was discussed today. Thank you.
So, guys, reporting is a lifestyle. I would say it's a way of living. Yeah, even in my team, like at IAAM, my team members, yeah, we have a practice where on our group we share each day the task at hand. Okay, the DSI, daily small improvement, what we have made. Okay, so we track things, we record things, we report the things. Because only then they can be improved. Else they will be going below your eyes. Yes, Hemant.
I got a very good idea as far as the report is concerned, and which I am going to do for this college, where on 15th this session.
Hemant, your voice is not quite clear. Your voice is not quite clear. You may have to come a little closer to the system.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah. This report, what I've seen from you, it was very good, which I'm going to definitely do it in this college. But the challenge here is I have got in each class 78 students. I've been telling this college that was 78 is very difficult, to manage them. If you could make a group of 35, 40. But this and आपको करना पड़ेगा इसके साथ.
No, see, I don't know why are you saying difficult. Okay, you just float a Google form. Say, for example, knowledge. Okay, you'll get a result. Google form will give you even a pie chart. Who is under what category? Okay, you'll get a bar graph. Use those in your reports. Use these bar graphs. Use the pie charts in your report.
Yeah, no, what happens here, the challenge is one student will come in one session, next session is absent.
Okay.
He is absent, correct. Now suddenly he'll come after 3-4 sessions. that time my presentation is something else. Now I'm supposed to give them a score on 50. And the college has told me, please ensure that everybody passes.
Okay.
Because this is not something which is compulsory. They are engineering students, So now the challenge what happens now when I make a report, and what is the preamble is that these students should have a good communication and they should get a good placement when the campus recruitment takes place. That is the basic preamble of the college, correct? But
Right.
these college students, how they are like, sometimes they'll come,
Put it
sometimes
under
they'll
your
not.
behavior. Put it at that, a late coming or a lack of punctuality. That can go as your observation when it comes to behavior in your report.
Correct.
And in the
Correct.
recommendations, you can also connect it with the recommendations. That
Okay.
you can very candidly put it up there that this is the attendance report of the class.
Okay.
Okay, so you will not be held that responsible for not getting results in case that is the case.
Correct. Correct.
So use your report even for this. Put down your observations. But you
Yeah.
have to have data. Okay, go with the data. Don't say that the class is not good. Trust me.
Correct.
Go with
Correct.
data. These were the 10 sessions, and out of 10 sessions, 40% of the class has an attendance of less than 50%. Okay, how do you expect results? My recommendation is to make this training compulsory, mandatory. In case if they are not attending the class, it needs to affect their academic score. This is my plan. This is the design. If this is the attendance report that they're not more than 70%, then we can take these actions, these disciplinary actions. This will go under your recommendation.
Correct.
See,
that is good.
You are going to save your collar there.
Yeah. One thing which happened very good is we had one topic known as a business plan presentation. Where what I did is I did the Shark Tank.
Okay.
I did the Shark Tanks and I made some of the students itself shark. And I have told them I've given them questions, which turned out to be very, very good. And then I told them in the storyboarding and storytelling to advertise the product what they have done.
Okay.
And being engineering students, that everybody was smart enough to do the video, like an advertisement of their product. That was very, very good.
Got it.
Where I can also mention this in the report, no?
Yes. Under behavior. The class is very creative. This was the activity that was conducted. Write down the name of the activity, what you did. If you have taken some photographs, even put that in the report. It makes your report more creative, right? Take those photographs, capture it, put it in the report.
Yeah. One last question, Elvis. One last question. When will your book be ready? Because I was thinking that there are CRs in this college. Okay? And as a goodwill relation with these CRs, because they coordinate a lot, in the classroom. So I want to give them the present. So I've got 2 CRs in 2 classes. So I want to give them 2 books. So if you can, 17th October is the last day.
Okay.
Before that, if I can get 2 books from your side, it will
Definitely, it will be out before that. Thanks for your intervention, Hemant. Yes, guys, anyone would like to has any doubt? Maybe last 1 or 2 of you. Anything you would like to add also? We're almost done. Whatever I had to share with you from my end, I have completed that. Okay, guys. So yes, any key takeaways? Maybe 7 of you. First 7. What are your key takeaway from today's session?
A report in the end of the session is one of the most important thing. It is actually going to gauge ourselves rather than the other person.
It is more for you rather than for it is for your client, of course, but it will also help you. Yes.
Yeah, this is really fantastic. Yeah.
Thanks. Yes, Shweta.
Yeah. So one more thing with this report writing, it helps me in revenue generation, recurring revenue generation also. This is the wonderful
business
part.
generation magnet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that, and
And helping all of us out. You are doing a wonderful job, yeah.
Thanks.
Great.
Yes, John.
For me, the recommendation part, what has been covered,
Fantastic.
what needs to be covered, because the continuity is there, and also revenue generation also it is being
So most
helping.
of the part of the headers that you saw are very much similar to your proposal. Yeah, same. Only few things here are a little different, like recommendations. Yes, you can also share some, what you say, resources for further improvement. Some links or some books you can mention in your recommendations, that these are the books that will help the trainees further. Yeah, maybe more, 3-4 of you, maybe last 3-4 of you. What are your key takeaways from today's session?
Always, what is measured, it can be improved and managed.
Great. What is measured can be managed, and this has been said by I guess Albert Einstein has said this. Yeah.
Okay. And important things for training, tracking, recording, and reporting.
Also, Albert Einstein has also said that if you're not able to explain something very simply, it is a very clear indicator that you yourself do not know it. So your report has to be very simple. Sometimes we go with a very complex design and reports and statistics and this and that, but your stakeholder is not able to understand that. Make your report very simple. Yes, any last two people, any last two key takeaways? Anyone like to share? What was your wow moment? What was your aha moment? That yes, these were the things you already knew, but okay, this was something which was new for me.
All this was new for me. Thank you so much, Elvis.
Great. Yeah, one last person, anyone who would like to share? I have already put the template in the chat. You can download it. Okay, guys. So yes, with that, the three vitamin U days of vitamin U. U stands for upskill. Yes. So with that, September month ka quota khatam ho gaya. Okay, we'll again meet in the next month with 3 new. So whatever I observe, I speak to trainers practically on a daily basis. So these are the 3 things I observed. These are the vitamins that are lacking in trainers to build a perfect body, a balanced body when it comes to your craft as a trainer. So yes, thank you everyone. Good night.
Elvis, just before we leave, just wanted to check if you're still available for a one-on-one on Calendly.
No, we can talk like that only. I will just stop the recording.